Welcome to Confidence Bites. Start your week the confident way with short, juicy confidence takeaways brought to you by Stuart Elliott from Double C Coaching. Hi, welcome to Confidence Bites. My name's Stuart and I'm your host for this series of programs giving you confidence building tips that you can take away right now, today, and start implementing in your life to make you more confident every single day. Now, I'm the founder of Double C Coaching. My company is dedicated to helping people just like yourselves turn their lives from ordinary into extraordinary. I've met many people who would love to have a more exciting life, but they always have an excuse. They always say, "Oh, I don't know how. I'm not good enough." But really, what it all boils down to is the fact that they just don't have the confidence. And many years ago, I made a vow to myself. Actually, I got a very good lesson. I was about 18 years old, and my girlfriend and I had just been to Morocco. And we came back from Morocco. We were living in the UK. And, UK people, the skin is a little bit white because the weather's not so good most of the time. And we'd just come back from Morocco and we went to the pub one evening and we walked in, and by the bar there's an old guy sitting in his chair there. He was about 70 and he looked at me and said, lad," he said, "you're looking very brown. Where's that been?" And I said to him, "No, it just came back from Morocco." And he looked at me with such wistful eyes and he says, "Morocco. I wish I could have gone to Morocco when I was younger." And I looked at him and I said to myself, there's no way that I am going to be like him when I get to his age. I'm not going to look back on my life with regret. I'm going to look back on my life with pride, with a sense of accomplishment, with a sense of achievement for the things I have done, the things I wanted to do. I read a survey, and I don't know whether it's an official survey or an unofficial survey, but the point is all the same. An Australian nurse who was working with terminally ill patients, she did an unofficial survey, I think it was, with a lot of the patients. They were on their deathbed, and she asked them what was their biggest regret in life. Do you know that most of them, probably about 90%, said, "Not living my life. Always living somebody else's." And it goes back to what that old guy in the pub said back in the UK. "I wish I could have." Well, the fact is, you can. It might take a little courage. It might take a little dedication, but you still can. Now, let me ask you a question. I have 2 banknotes. Oops. £20 note, 100 RMB note, okay? 2 banknotes. And I have 2 A4 pieces of paper. And if I ask you now, which is the most valuable, which do you think? The banknotes or the paper? Now, if you're like most people, you'll be telling me the banknotes, and I agree with you. You see, the banknotes, once they're folded, they become a little person. Somebody probably just like you. Whereas the paper becomes a box. Now, here's the funny thing. Even though you're more valuable, the paper, you spend your whole life locked inside this box. "Let me out! Let me out!" you probably say. But as much as you look, as much as you search, you probably can't find the door. And even if you did find the door, this whole world outside of this box is so scary that you probably wouldn't step outside. You see, it takes a lot of courage, it takes a lot of confidence to be able to break free of this box, this prison that we tend to keep ourselves in. And it's just like one of my clients, Jo. She was a young girl, or a young woman, should we say, about 24 years old. She just finished university. She lives in China, and China has quite a rigid view of how the young girls or the young women should live their lives. 25, 26, 27, they're expected to have found a boyfriend and be preparing to, if not already married, so that they can start a family almost immediately for their parents, so that the parents can become grandparents. Now, Jo didn't want any of this. She wanted to make her own life. She wanted to move to another city and build her life without the constraints that society was putting on her. But her parents were against this. Her family were against this. They wanted her to toe the line. And she was miserable because she didn't want this. She wasn't ready to settle down. So with a bit of help from myself, I got her to understand, what it was from her parents' point of view, how they were looking at things, and how much pressure they were probably under from their family. And the fact that they were probably being told by their brothers, their sisters, their parents, that they can't control their daughter, that they're not good parents. So they were then pushing this pressure onto Jo to toe the line so that they could get keep their face. And face is very important in China. So over a bit of time, a period of time, I got Jo to understand all this type of thing from her parents' point of view. And she managed, because of this, to communicate with her parents and turn them onto her side, get them to understand her point of view, why it was so important for her to build her life. And what's such a remarkable thing is, she found a job in Guangzhou, which is about 2 hours plane flight away from here. From that job, she found a place to live. And she found a circle of friends. And she did all this without leaving her home city. She did it all via the internet. And then she was ready to move. And her mother said, "No, I want to come with you and live with you for 3 months just to make sure you're okay in this strange city." And Jo said, "No, I have to do this on my own." So after a little bit more discussion and talking, Jo managed to convince her mother and her father that she was going to be okay, she was going to be fine, and that she had to do this all on her own. And I always smile. I always get a feeling inside when I hear this next part. After 6 months, her mother came to visit her and stayed with her for a little while. And she said to Jo, she said, "I am so proud of you. Look what you've achieved. You've got your new life. You have a great circle of friends. You've got a nice place to stay. And you've got a great job. I'm so proud of my daughter." And I always get a little bit emotional when she tells me that story, because it's such a meaningful thing to hear somebody make something of their life. And this is where my heart really is. I want to help you. That's why I've started this Confidence Bites thing. I want to show you how inside you've got the courage, you've got the confidence, you've got all the resources you need to be able to start making your life and get your life in order to live it the way you want. And let me give you another example of how this little box that we tend to live our lives in can be very limiting. It's nice to have a place of refuge. The four walls are very comfortable. But there's a lot of times we need to go outside because it limits us. And, a few years ago, it's quite a few years now ago, when I was living in the UK, my girlfriend and I got a street cat. And this kitten was only about 6 weeks old. And when we bought it, it was August. And, August in the UK is okay, the weather. And, I'm really a dog lover, but this cat was actually a wonderful creature. It had such a personality. It was always full of fun. It was always playing. It would hide behind the sofa or something like that and just ambush me as I came past. He was so much fun. And every morning when I got up, he came downstairs with me. He ran down the stairs with me, so excited because he knew I was going to open the back door and let him outside. And he'd go out and play and do his business, then come back in for food, etc. But this one morning, I remember this so vividly. It was the beginning of December, and I came downstairs at 7 o'clock as normal. And I opened the back door. The cat was bouncing down the stairs, so excited, and the door opened, and suddenly the cat goes, "What the f-" And he just stopped dead. And his eyes were wide. You see, outside, everything had changed. It was white. It was just a thick blanket of snow. And I was smiling to myself because, I've seen snow, but the cat's never seen snow. He's never seen this new world, this strange new world that's outside. What's happened? And there's no way he was going outside. He didn't have the courage, he didn't have the confidence to go and explore this white blanket. And he put his little foot out, touched the snow, pulled it back. And then I started playing with him and getting him a little bit more encouraged. I got a little bit of snow, made a snowball, play with it with him in the house, and he was getting happier. But when I threw outside, no way, he's not going out there. Anyway, over a little bit of time, I got another snowball, and then I threw them outside. And eventually he ran outside chasing this one snowball. And I will never forget this. It's so funny. He disappeared. He just disappeared in the snow. Gone. The snow was so deep, he just disappeared. And then this little head pops up and he says, "What the heck?" He looks around, and then he just went crazy. He's just running around. He's having fun in the snow. I've got some more snowballs. I threw them for him. He's chasing them. He's running into the trees, the bushes. He's bouncing off. Snow's going everywhere. He was having the time of his life. He was so happy he'd gone outside that door. He was so happy that he'd explored his brand new world because it was the most exciting thing in the world. And it's incredible, really, how we limit ourselves for no need. We just need to find that little bit of courage and confidence from inside ourselves. Then we can go out. Now, maybe you don't feel trapped in your world. Maybe you feel that there's just be something more. Something's missing. And, it's a natural feeling. Most people have it at some time. There's got to be more to life than this. Well, there's always more, because life is what you make it. And you carry around in yourself so many hidden resources, which I will help you to find. I remember a few years ago, I was traveling through Africa, and I was in the Zaire jungle in Central Africa, and we went on a hunting trip with the pygmies. Pygmies, not pygmies, pygmies. I can't speak. Anyway, we went on a hunting trip with the pygmies. And, these guys are quite interesting. They take nets with them, they go out way into the forest, and they put the nets up, and then they chase the animals into the nets, and then they make a new camp wherever they are. And on this trip, there's one person who has a very important job. His job is to take this live coal and keep it with him the whole time, so that when the time comes, he can start a fire. You see, we're in the middle of the rainforest. There's not very many roads. There may be a dirt track here and there or something like that, but there's no corner shops. There's no supermarkets. There aren't even dry twigs to rub together because we're in the rainforest. So he has to keep these coals burning. And then, when the time comes, he has to fan them into life and create this wonderful fire. And you're just like this keeper of the coals. You have this important job. You have your own coals, your coals of confidence, your coals of courage, and your coals of inner resources smouldering away inside you. Now, sometimes they're very deep, sometimes they're not so deep. But your job is to keep them, and I will help you to fan them into a roaring fire, so you can change your life from ordinary to extraordinary. Now, I know you might be thinking, how can I do that? Well, it's very simple. The very first step you need to do is appreciate yourself. Celebrate all the little victories. And in my next program, I will go into a bit more detail about what confidence is, why it's so important, and I will start teaching you how simply within a few moments you can start celebrating your successes, yourself, and start feeling better and more empowered in your life. Now, if that's something that really resonates with you, then I invite you to come back to the next program so you can start building your confidence right away. Thank you for being here. I invite you to come back next time, so bookmark this page and subscribe to the channel. See you. By the way, don't forget to get more confident every single day. Ciao. Confidence Bites, your weekly confidence building show, was brought to you by Stuart Elliott from Double C Coaching, www.doubleccoaching.com, DOUBLECCOACHING.com. For regular confidence building tips, subscribe to this channel today, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Stuart Double C, capital S T U A R T, capital D O U B L E, capital C, at Stuart Double C.